That reminds me of something that bothered me yesterday. I was talking to somebody and I made some joke and they put together they thought they knew like how I would view the world or whatever the fuck, you know, just some idiot online. And they immediately I noticed they clammed up and it was like they were like nervous and I was like, relax, why are you suddenly acting weird around me? And basically after some prodding, basically they were like, I'm afraid to say the wrong thing around you. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then they were like, basically, something, basically cancel. They were like, you're gonna, like, what if I say the wrong thing and you, like, cancel me? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna cancel someone. And I'm not making fun of the person I was talking to either, at all. When I say that, I'm not saying like, oh, you're so stupid. I know some people who will jump the gun and immediately be like, arguing and like yelling about like anything even remotely off topic. Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm using cancel in like the generic like vague sense that they use it with. Just a bad thing will happen to them and people will be mad at them. Is basically what most people think when they think of, or that like, they're like, I'll make them like lose their job or something. It bothers me that so many people are worried about that kind of thing, and the fact that I do know a handful of people who might actually do that. Or not, they wouldn't have an institutional power to really, like, cancel someone, but they'd get, like, annoyed. They would be angry. They would start a ruckus. For clarification, because I realize how bad that might sound. This person is not, like, bad. Like, this is just person with milquetoast, like, room temp, social, political ideas, like that. Like, they're not average room temp everything. And they were worried, like, you know, the way I talk about, you know, workers' rights, whatever the fuck. They're like, I know kind of what that means. I'm like, does that mean like you're gonna get mad at me or whatever if I say the wrong thing? And I'm like, no, God, no. I get mad at people when they're like fucking evil. I don't get like, I'm not gonna nitpick someone over like, or tone police someone. I live in the deep south. I live in fucking Louisiana. I am 29 years old. If I tone policed or got like viscerally angry at every minorly inappropriate or slightly, I'm gonna say slightly problematic. I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying slurs. I'm not saying other things. I'm saying like, if you say things that like a vast majority of Americans think is normal, which doesn't make it good. I'm just saying vast majority of people think is normal. Like if I did that, I would not be able to interact with human beings. Like, I am not gonna fucking cancel someone unless you are literally spouting like a great replacement shit or like actual racism or transphobia. Like, I'm not gonna, and even then sometimes I don't accept it at all, but I'll be like, go on. I don't agree with you in any way, but let's hear what else you have to say. I've done that once or twice. Where like I was talking to this a long time ago. I was in a random Discord and I met a guy who it turned out had some very interesting ideas. He seemed like kind of dumb. He wasn't like malevolent. Like he just kind of had passively absorbed a bunch of really bad ideas. There wasn't a platform for him to be on to speak. There wasn't anyone else there who might be like harmed by anything he was saying. There wasn't, so it was just me and him. So I was like, just to be clear, I don't agree with what you're saying, but I'm not gonna cancel you or whatever. It's just the two of us here. So go on. Elaborate. Tell me more, because I'm like, I just want to know what like a vibe check. I'm just like, you have some weird views, and I want to know more about. I want to know what you think about the world. Like, I'm not even like trying to like go out and change hearts and minds or anything. I'm just like, how does your brain work? Tell me more. In those instances, I can be like, I just want to know more when it's not like harming anything. He doesn't have a platform. He's just some rando, and like, I could have jump down his throat about things. I could have yelled at this guy, especially like this guy wasn't like passive, minor, problematic. Like this was how do I put this lightly? He was a guy who had certain beliefs as to what particular groups of people run the world, which I was fascinated by. I was just like, let me understand you. I want to know about this worldview. Just so I can know it, I can know what your talking points are. You're insane, but just let me study you. Your beautiful mind. Go on. And because I wasn't like jumping down his throat, even though I repeated, like, I did not, to be clear, me saying that you don't have to jump down people's throats doesn't mean you have to just passively accept anything problematic they say, by any means. And if they're rude or mean or like harmful, you walk away, especially if you say belong to a particular identity or group and they are specifically targeting or harassing you about it. I'm not saying you are required to stand there and take it. You can walk away or you can call them out. Like, that's your business. But like me, I can pass as a cis white guy. I'm fine. I mean, I can pass as a cis guy. I'm white. So, you know, whatever. He was just like, you know, I thought you'd be like mad at me. And I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm more just confused. Like, I'm just kind of amused by it, really. And yeah, no, if he had a platform, if he was spreading these ideas to other people, like if he had like a Twitch Twitch channel with like 100,000 subs, yeah, that would probably be good to like let someone know that he's saying that kind of thing, because that's like dangerous. But like at the same time, like that's an extreme example. Generally, I'm not talking about guys who think like that. I'm talking about your average in my neck of the woods, just generic guy on the street who, because of the way, you know, American culture works, it's gonna be like passively a little bit reactionary. At least he's gonna have some kind of views on some things, but like I'm not gonna blame him for growing up here the same place I did. Like, just because I read a bunch of stupid fucking books and talk like a nerd doesn't mean this guy is gonna have to do that. I'm just like, I'm not gonna cancel you over random, like, little things, especially if talking about it with you more, again, if it's not overt fucking racism or transphobia, like, talk to me more. Maybe I can change your mind, or maybe we can have a dialogue, maybe in private, not where you can go and tell everyone else your ideas and make them believe it too, but like, I'm not gonna run around fucking canceling people. Like, I'm just gonna try and figure out why you think what you think and if it's based on something that's incorrect. Because I know it's a stereotype, but there are genuinely, and I have met them, people who will jump down your throat and be holier than thou about everything. Even in, you know, the left, it's oh, you don't follow this specific line? Well, then you aren't even a real whatever the fuck. And it's like, what does this serve? What purpose does this serve you're doing right now? Like, this isn't helping. This isn't building a positive, useful dialogue. You're losing your audience. This is just you big dicking to show that you know stuff. Like, it doesn't, which is the opposite of what you should be doing if you have views of, like if you want to make the world a better place somehow. Your goal should not be to go around big dicking people and just being a dick to people. Like, do something productive. Talk to people. Meet them where they're at. You know? I don't know, that shit just bothers me. That just bothers me so bad. I have made so many more friends, and not saying like I converted anyone to anything, but I'm just saying like talk to people and talked about like history and like their job, what their day-to-day life is like, and had far more productive conversations than some idiot running around trying to say, this person with 2 followers on Twitter, they one time when they were 7 said a bad word, so let's get them fired, folks. Like, no, fuck no, God no. Fucking talk to people. Go outside and talk to people who you don't agree with. Not saying that make you automatically have to accept all of their beliefs and worldview, or that you are required to sit there if they are being cruel or problematic. God no, I'm not saying that. But if they just don't know something, you can talk to them about that or redirect the conversation. Like, I used to have a coworker I do this with all the time. He'd bring up some bullshit thing he heard online that he totally thought was real about some company, and I'd be like, buddy, that company ain't woke or whatever the fuck you think it is. They have shareholders. They will be pro or anti whatever fucking ideology you want if it means more for their bottom line. Like, they don't care. You could just refocus them every time on that. It's like, how do you explain, like, this company is woke or this company is blah? You have to jump through so many mental hurdles to make that make sense, like, as to why is the company woke? Who is making the company woke? When it's so much easier, like, Occam's razor this shit. They're a company. They want to make money. They're appealing to a certain audience they think will make them more money than the other audience. Done. Simple. I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why I went off on that rant. It just really got to me, because I'm like, there are so many people I genuinely wouldn't mind talking to, even if they fucking disagree with me, or don't think, like, obviously, I'm not expecting everyone to agree with me on everything, or to have read all the books that I've read, and done all the blah, blah, blah that I've done, but, like, I don't mind talking to them. I have tons of friends who aren't, like, whatever the fuck I am, and we're fine. I try to, like, if they bring up a topic, I'll be like, this is what I think about that. Maybe it makes more sense than what you think. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But, like, just hate it, because it's like you could do so much more if you actually could talk to these. Like, if you're in my position where you know, I could act like a normal, straight, cis guy if I wanted to in public, like with real people. I've done that before. I used to do it all the time with my coworkers. Coworker talk, you know? Be an easy way to talk to people. If you're in my position, you can do that. Do it. Plus, they're my homies. I'm not gonna fucking... If they were toxic, like evil, I wouldn't be homies with them. Like, obviously, like, by necessity, I'm not gonna become friends with someone who's hateful. I'm not gonna, like, try to interact with someone who's hateful or evil. So, like, you know, for anyone watching this right now who I've ever, like, interacted with, congratulations, I don't think that you're hateful. Good job on not being that. like, if you're here and I'm willing to talk to you, whether it's in a game or in a Discord or in a group chat or in a fucking Twitch chat or whatever the fuck, it's probably because I don't think you're an awful person. And I would love to talk more with you, and I don't mind the fact that you probably have the same politics as everyone who lives in this fucking country does. I would prefer I might prefer other things, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Exactly. As long as you are not out in the street throwing sharing your heart with people, as long as you're not doing that, then, like, I can work with that. I'm not even saying work with that as if, like, it's my goal to convert everyone to my way of thinking. I'm not. I'm just here talking. I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy. I've got tons of friends, so I'm not trying to fucking convert to anything. They're homies. I always emphasize that because it is a really, like, important part of, like, I think the reason why I think that way. It's like, I live in the deep south. I'm surrounded by people who don't think the same way that I do. Again, if I couldn't make that work, I would not be able to leave my house. And I definitely do that a lot for my gay little walks. And it also, like, part of that is, like, knowing when to hold your tongue. Knowing when, sometimes stupid things or things you know that are false, people say it's not worth a reaction. It's just like, cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's try to talk about something else, you know? I talked to this one friend of mine one time who knew me much better than this one person I was talking to most recently. And we were talking about something. She started to say something, and I went, mm-hmm. And she stopped, and she was like, okay, what? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, you're making the mm-hmm you make whenever you're like, that's problematic. And I'm like, hey, I'm not saying nothing. Let me hear you out, okay? I'm not gonna cancel you. I'm not gonna do anything like that. We're just chatting in a VC. Let me hear what you think. Let me know where you're coming from. We could chat about this. Just because I disagree doesn't mean I think you're stupid. Doesn't mean I think I need to fix you. Doesn't mean I think I need to, like, convert. None of that. I'm just like, what do you actually believe or think? Or what do you want to talk about? Or what's a problem that's going on in your life right now? Maybe it's something I don't know about. So in that case, I'll defer to whatever you know about. I'm not going to argue mid-seminar. Yeah, it's like that. Like, think of it that way. Like, are you going to really stand up in front of a crowd and start arguing in front of the guy? Like, I feel like there was a protester, in which case, that's probably why you're there. But, like, actually? Like, I'm not going to fucking be a shit to my homies. Nah. If they want my opinion on something, I'll give it to them. But, like, I'm just like, say whatever you want. It's weird, and I will openly say that I don't agree with something that this person is saying, but, like, I'm not gonna say they're not allowed to say it unless I really don't want to hear it. In which case, it stands to reason I probably am not actually friends with them, and this conversation isn't happening to begin with. So that's why I used to joke about, like, I would love to have just average everyday dudes just show up in my stream one day, like, like online, like, internet weirdos, the same way that y'all are internet weirdos of a different flavor. Have the other flavor of internet weirdos show up and just kind of talk or ask questions or whatever the fuck. Because I'm like, no, let's talk. I've read some books. Let's talk. Not to, like, call people out or argue with them, just like, what do you think? What do you guys think about XYZ topic, you know? Battlefield 4. I'm not gonna do that again. That was a little too much. I was a little bit too lost in the sauce on that one. That might scare some folks. If anyone asks, I was just trolling. I was just trolling to help my team win, and we won, damn it. I wasn't saying anything that might be objectionable according to the US State Department. I was especially worried, like, especially super duper extra worry when it comes to, like, other content creators and shit. Having the kind of fear of, like, fear of drama. Genuinely. Because like if you're a content creator, especially if you have like a larger platform, especially if you have one larger than me, because I'm pretty small. I'm very small. There's always a fear of like any drama could like fuck you over. And because of that, it can tend to be like, oh, I don't want to interact with Whispurr. He seems scary. He might get too woke on me or something. I'm like, I'm not gonna. I know how to compartmentalize. I know how to isolate. I just want to be friends with people. I don't care what the fuck. As long as you're not like fucking doing that to people, I don't care what you are.